Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 19, our last Tuesday together. Hope you guys are as sad as I am about this. What are we going to do this summer? No camps, no anything. My goodness. Feel free to, shoot me an email once in a while. I'll be checking it. Okay, so disclaimer, this recording is actually being made on Monday night, so you might have to ignore some due dates because they'll look wrong because it'll say due today, which actually would mean that it was due yesterday. So I'm going to take you on a little field trip here through my computer. All right, I want to show you what I see. When I assign something, it tells me that it's assigned, tells me when it's due, tells me when it's due. What it doesn't tell me is if you turn it in late. So for example, some of you are trying to catch up and you didn't do a soldier's experience, I need to go in and physically look for it. So it would be to your advantage if you're turning in any of these things late that you also shoot me an email and say, I just turned this in, because otherwise I would have no reason to go back to it and look for it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But that's why some of you maybe would write a teacher saying, I already turned this in. Well, if we posted it, we don't always necessarily have it that you've turned it in. So you need to let us know. All right. So, for example, the TET offensive, there's 2 ed puzzles. I'm going to get that and I'm going to see how much of it you watched and I'm going to see the questions that you got wrong. Now, once I grade everybody in the class, I have no way of knowing if you do it unless you tell me later on that you've done it. All right? So, according to my calculations, Soldiers Frustrations was actually due yesterday. Remember my disclaimer. So it was due yesterday, and it was in fact due before we did the Google Meet because we went over all the answers with that. So I don't know how you're going to handle that, but you need to make sure that you get all of these answers. Okay, so let me show you one more thing on my Google Drive. All right, this is what I just said, the good morning. This is the Ho Chi Minh Trail. We talked about this one. This is a great resource for what you're going to be writing about. This is the frustrations of the soldiers. This is what we went through yesterday. So if you are missing either one of these slideshows, I can send them to you for the information. Okay, because what you're going to notice in your classwork that's due is a test. This is going to be due on Friday. You are going to need to look at the whole chapter. Primarily your answers will come from 444 through 447, but write down the reasons for opposing the war. This is going to require some critical thinking. Be sure to write down why you believe it's a good reason for opposing the war. Just don't write down it divided people. Why did it divide people? What was some of the reasons there? So if you need more space than the 2 lines, feel free to do that. All right, and then the second part is effects on the Vietnam War found on page 446 through 447. I'm only asking you to do 8 of them. And there is actually 10. So effects on the Vietnam War. These effects could be actually on the people of Vietnam. They could be on people in the United States. They could be effects, a long-term effect. One of the things I've told you about is I'm a product of the Vietnam War. A lot of the songs that I grew up singing were Vietnam War protest songs. You guys have been taught to always thank a soldier, regardless of whether you agree with the war or not. You've been told to be grateful, and that is a product of the Vietnam War. You can't use that one, but I want you to think about the effects in terms of that. All right, then the last thing is write a paragraph about what you believe is the most serious consequence or effect of the Vietnam War. Cite evidence to support your answer. A paragraph to me is a minimum of 5 sentences. This is a test, folks. So share your thoughts. What do you think about the Vietnam War? What do you think was a consequence? You'll need to read over that whole section. We'll talk about it probably a little bit in our Google Meet tomorrow. All right? Sorry, I was kind of reading some of this thinking I was doing it wrong, but I think you have the gist. And so let's just recap what I said. One, if you turn in something late to me this week, you have to let me know. I don't naturally go back into those assignments once I've graded them. Two, if you want to have the PowerPoints, please let me know. I'll share them with you, and that will help with your note taking or your processing for this test. Three, you have the test. It's due on Wednesday. There'll probably be another Edpuzzle coming along, just kind of explaining some of this stuff. So if you have any questions, obviously I'm here all day to answer them. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Bye.